everybody doing? Is this a good volume? Okay. So I don't really have a set thing prepared, but one of the things I wanted to tackle is anytime I go to any party, for the past, ever since I was born, people ask, where are you from? You know, it's a very non-threatening, simple question. And people just kind of want to get to know who you are. That's kind of what they're trying to say. It's a very harmless question. And I'm not over here trying to tell people not to ask that question. But I'm finally ready to answer that question in the most detailed way possible. And here we go. So, I was born in a village in central India. So if you India looks like this triangle thing going on in an ocean. If you take a needle and kind of put it right in the middle, that's where I was born. And I'm gonna try to compare America to India because I feel like I'm the most qualified person to do that. At least here. So the place I was born, I want to compare it to, and the way India is set up, it's got 26 states and America's got 50 states. There's a lot of similarities. So the place I was born, I'm going to call it Mobile, Alabama, to kind of relate with everybody here. And that's, so the place I was actually born in, it's in Hardha, Madhya Pradesh. And it's kind of like Alabama. When you think of America, you don't think of Alabama. And that's the type of place I was born. You don't think of this place in India. And that's the kind of place I was born. And my parents are from Ohio. You know, and Ohio as in Andhra Pradesh, which is another state. And so they moved from Ohio to Alabama. And so my parents, they're farmers. And to them, it was a big move. They always talk about it. Moving to America was, whatever. You know, to them, they were like, yeah, we moved from Ohio all the way to Alabama. And they're so proud of it. And they moved to another village. Who does that? It's like moving from Toledo to Mobile, Alabama. Why would you do that? So that's what they did. And here's another thing that's going to blow people's mind. It blows my mind all the time. My parents met on the day of their wedding. And I'm like, wow, two strangers, they just met in Mobile, Alabama. And they were like, all right, let's do this. And I think 9 months later I was born. I don't really want to think about it too much. So that's where I was born, and my parents kept telling me, hey, you're from Ohio, you're not from Alabama, you know, you're an Ohioan kid. And another thing about India is generally, in each state, people speak a different language. So I grew up speaking, at home I would speak this language called Telugu, which is, let's just call it Ohioan, you know. I would speak Ohioan at home. And when I'm out in the streets of the school with my friends, I would speak this language called Hindi. And we can call it Alabamanian. So that's what so I grew up speaking these two different languages. And at home, it was this one thing, and in the streets, it was another. And my parents were like, you know what? Let's go closer to home. Let's move to, I don't know, Indiana. So that's what they did. They moved kind of towards the south. And they moved to another place closer to home because they kind of wanted to be close to my grandparents and everything. But the problem is, people in Indiana speak Indiana something, you know? They spoke a different language. So now I'm over here already struggling between two languages. I go to this other school and the other thing is with the school people were speaking, it was an English speaking school. So I was trying to figure out which language I was supposed to speak. So at school I was speaking English. In the streets with all my friends, I would be playing soccer, cricket, I was speaking Indiananism. And then at home I was speaking Ohioan. And I also know Alabama language. And they're all very different languages. And I also knew how to read and write in all these different languages. At some point I decided, thank you. At some point I decided I'm just gonna start speaking English because it's probably gonna help me the most. And I saw the warning, so I'm gonna wrap it up real quick. At the age of 15 with my family, I moved to America. And I had my brother with me who was 7 years younger than me. So I was 15, my brother was 8, my dad was, I don't know, 48. My mom was 39 years old. We just moved. You know, I remember I was sitting in the back of a tractor trailer with 8 huge suitcases, just kind of wobbling through the streets in this thing that has wheels and it moves, you know? And looking back, there's all these people who I was genetically related to somehow, because they kind of did look like me. And these were all like my third cousins and great somethings, you know, just. And I getting in this tractor, and then I got in this tractor, and then I got on a train, and then I got on a plane, and I got another plane, and I ended up in Chicago, Illinois. And I was here, and I was looking around, and I was like, man, a lot of white people here. Have you noticed? A lot of white people here. I don't know, that was just my first thought. And then my second thought was, man, everything's so clean, the roads are so nice, the cars move so fast. And the reason I was able to move is because my uncle has been here for a while. He applied for us to move as a family. It was like a family situation. We got here, but we had nowhere to go. So in 1 minute, I'm going to try to explain how my life was here. For the last 10 years, the first 2 years were horrible. We were trying to figure out, how do you survive when your dad works at a gas station, makes $650 a month, rent is $425, how much is left? I don't know, I'm really good at math. But still, there was, I don't know, 250 something, doesn't matter, but I know how to survive with that money. All you need when you have that much money to survive is love. I don't mean to sound cliche, but that's all we had. We ate a lot of peanut butter sandwiches because they were cheap. My dad did not want to get food stamps because he was like, oh, we can't cost this country any more money. They invited us, so we will try to get through it without causing a burden on the tax system. So anyway, if you think I'm skinny now, I'm really skinny back then. This is me. Looking really good, I'm in shape right now, guys. So then I graduated college, or high school. I was a sophomore in high school. I tried joining the Air Force because I didn't know if I could afford college. I was told American high schools are free, but college not so much. But somehow I got in, I got scholarship. I majored in business finance because my parents didn't have health insurance. I realized to get medical, anything medical in America, you need to have medical insurance, you need to have money. So I was finance, pre-med, and then I got a master's degree in University of Toledo. I did that. And then I got into medical school, and now I'm 26 years old. I'm going to graduate medical school. I'm going to be a psychiatrist. I don't know what I'm going to be.
Woo!
So, I don't know where I'm from, but I feel at home. Thank you.